To quick recognition here, some guys from the week from Michigan, our scouts of the week defensively, Andrew Turvey and Lincoln Murph, both from Indianapolis, Andrew's from Carmel, Lincoln's from Ben Davis, working really hard. Excited to have those guys continue to help us each week. And then offensive scouts, Darren McCauley, Eli Yoakum, guys continue to work hard, make us better each day, and then Clay Connor as well. Special team scout. So appreciate the effort you guys give each and every week to help us get where we need to be as a program. Just excited about this week. Great opportunity for us with homecoming. Really good football team coming to Bloomington. Coach has done a great job there. Coach Shiano and systematically building that team, playing a lot of confidence. Got a big win this past week, coming from behind, showing a lot of toughness and grit as a team, and just being able to play really good defense and run the football well and throw the football effectively and good on special teams. So good football team here for homecoming, expecting a great crowd and just a great weekend for our university. A lot of things going on and beautiful weather as well. So it should be a great opportunity for guys as we get into the second half of our season. Very, very important part to be able to allow us to reach the goals we have for our team. So questions?
Matt and Mike.
Coach, you said last Monday that Dave was still the starter. After going back and evaluating the film, is this job open back up, and what did you guys see on the film from each guy?
Yeah, we're going to we'll make a decision, and the bottom line is as you go through and look at changes we wanted to make on offense. Obviously, made a major change a week ago, and with our staff, and just want to be able to do a great job of moving us down the field, scoring points, and that continues to be the goal. Obviously, did some good things. Both of them did good things on Saturday. Both of them made some mistakes, but it's about protecting the football. It's about running the offense and being able to be effective with that. So we'll make a decision, and when we make this decision this week, that person will be the guy. So I'm not going to rotate back and forth.
Mike the Mason.
Yeah, when you made the decision last week about rotating and you've kind of gone back and forth with the quarterbacks, is it something you talk with the whole team or the whole offense about? How kind of informed do you keep them, why you're making the steps you're making, to kind of keep them, give them an understanding of why you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I would say definitely making those guys together. I've always done it that way. And so don't call a team meeting for that, for sure. But at the same time, just want the guys to know that whoever's in that hub on our offense has got the same expectations. And so bottom line is that we definitely want to be able to have some continuity there. I know we obviously had some back and forth with that throughout the course of the season. And we have two young guys that we know are trying to grow and develop. And so as we figure out what their strengths are as well. So just want to see them play consistently and build it around them. So obviously with Coach Carey and role now and his ability to be able to have his thoughts on what we want to be able to do offensively, that will drive some of this as well. So, but to me, it's about communicating with those guys very open and honestly, which we have, and keeping them on the same page together, because it's very, very important, and to be able to help our offense continue to grow. So definitely saw some positive signs offensively. We got to build off of that.
Mason and Jack.
Coach, you mentioned that you made an offensive change with naming Rod Carey as your offensive coordinator. His first game in the role, how would you assess how he did in the position?
Well, got off a good start, which was definitely a positive. Obviously made a big emphasis of trying to start fast as a football team, and we're able to do that in the first quarter. We're not able to sustain that, but obviously, a tough task offensively against such a good defense. But at the same time, saw some good things. I had the ability from our offensive line as some individuals played really well. I want to see that group continue to collectively improve and get more production out of our throw game, so we can continue to put more pressure on the defense. So thought we made some positive strides. Obviously not good enough, obviously not the standard, and we got to be able to be better. I got to coach better. We got to coach better. Players got to play better. We all have to, as a collective group, have to be better as an offensive unit. And so, and then defensively, we got to play better without question. So, but just I think being against who it was a challenging first game for that situation. But at the same time, you kind of can see when our guys execute and are able to do their jobs as a collective group together, a lot of positive things can happen. So, but we got to continue to keep growing and building, and obviously we played tough early schedule, which is part of it, and we got to be able to have a great, strong finish. That was the expectation.
Jeff and Daniel.
Yes, I know you're not satisfied with how either of them have played, Taven or Brendan, but are there positive traits that you've seen with them, whether it's in games or practices, that you feel like you can build off of? And then I guess, like you mentioned, Dexter getting closer, like how does he factor into that?
Yeah, I think that there's no question that there's both have positive traits, and you just want to see more consistency. And I think that's the key. For us to be able to do that as a staff to help them with that, and both the game plan and the calls and the way that they're going to operate, and that's going to be a real big goal for this week is that consistency and to being able to continue to narrow things down to the areas where they can really, which they've shown we got enough on film now to know what we can, do well. Just got to continue to improve, try to throw the football better, got to be able to run the football better. Did a little bit of both of those things on Saturday, not consistently enough to be able to get where we want to be. And then you think about Dexter, to me, he's progressing, and he'll be a guy that's each week has grown in his ability to be ready. And so that's even more so this past weekend, and he obviously dressed and was ready to be in an emergency situation if need be. And so, yeah, he's getting closer and closer.
Daniel and Ken.
When you look at the second half struggles, I guess last Saturday, but also kind of throughout the last few years, is there anything you can kind of single out maybe that, it's not like every game's the same problem, but is there maybe one thing you can point to that maybe keeps on showing up each week for some of these second half struggles that you've had?
Well, the ones here, recently, I would say, just really, when you go through your watch, especially, you take like the defense. So it was some critical mistakes and critical downs, really to me kind of jumped out to us on Saturday. And then the positive things you do prior to that get negated, when you make a mistake and you don't contain the quarterback on a critical third down, or DB comes off a receiver when he's scrambling and leaves this guy, open, or you don't make a proper check adjustment, and they, line up in a certain formation because they're going fast. I think one thing is, you got a lot of, continue. I know we're second half of the season now, but you still have, we went through in our base package, 10 of our 11 guys that played on Saturday had never played in Michigan before, 9 and 11 in our sub package. And so it's a lot of guys with a lot of new faces, a lot of new opportunities, a lot of new individuals in those moments. And there's several on offense as well, So I think just the consistency of that execution at critical times when, teams do things that maybe is a little different than you expect, or you go through and try to make those adjustments at halftime and make sure that everybody that's ones and the twos all, get those same adjustments and are able to execute those, and because you never knew who's going to be in there in those certain plays. So I just think to continue to grow that, it's got to continue to adapt to that. So I think as we continue to focus on what can we do to simplify and still not be, too simple to where you guys can't give multiple looks to the opponents on both sides of the ball. So it comes back to us, as coaches, continuing to streamline what we do, I think in a lot of ways, and be able to help our guys, finish better. Obviously, it gets a team like that makes you pay right away for a mistake is costly without question. And then it gets that momentum and it kind of works against you. There's a window of time in that second quarter where it kind of, things, shifted against us and we weren't able to stop that, So, but at the same time, some of those were self-inflicted. Some of those things are just tough calls that go against you or whatever, however that works out, and you got to be able to respond, So, but at the same time, to me, it's learning and growing from that and being able to recognize we have a lot of football ahead of us. And we absolutely do, and that's the whole focus for me, is being able to adjust things, adapt to what we're going to be able to do, make some decisions, maybe make some hard decisions, and then go with it and roll with it, and let our guys go play. Because I think we've shown enough glimpses of things that we can become, and it has to be consistent. That's going to be the focus on both sides of the ball and special teams.
Ken and Seth.
You mentioned mistakes defensively. Some of those mistakes seem like they might be. Do you believe there's a trust issue with the defense? Because it seems that oftentimes those mistakes are coming from guys who are trying to do other people's jobs and worrying about themselves.
Yeah, I think there's, we targeted 3 or 4 guys that we felt like, had not been in that kind of maybe big moment stadium situation and tried to do way too much. Just do your job. I think there's no question. I don't know if it's so much necessarily trust of the guy around you, or I'm trying to make more plays myself. And then you trust the system. If I just do my job, those plays will come to me. And I think that's a real, a challenge. I think you got a mindset of, hey, I want to do this to be able to create, future things for myself, and that's great. But when you play within the system and you do your job, those plays come to you, I believe. And so convincing the young guy of that is part of our responsibility, and also convincing new guys of that haven't been here for a long time to understand that and to trust that part of the system. And so, because I think the guys have done a good job. We prepared well last week, we practiced well, had a good walkthroughs, good focus prior to that. But you're right, when you get in that moment, can I just trust the system enough to say, if I do my job, I'll make the plays I'm supposed to make, and then the team will have great success. So I do think that's a good way to phrase that.
Tom, it seemed like for the first few weeks of the season, the offensive line had kind of made some positive steps coming out of last season. At the midpoint of this year now, I guess, what do you feel like you and Coach Bost are getting out of that group?
Well, I want to see it continue to elevate, for sure. I do think that Matt Bedford played his best game, this past weekend. So seeing growth there, getting him healthier all the time, and as a collective group, as they continue to mesh and gel and work together. So obviously going against really good fronts and go against another really good front this week, and so just got to continue to develop. And I think even just kind of made some adjustments and try to add some things to what we want to become, up front, even in the run game, and saw some positive returns on that. We want to keep building off of that, and obviously the second half of the season needs to be their best, and so we've had a chance to kind of get those guys solidified where they're at, where they're playing in those consistent spots, and I want to see them, take these next 6 games and allow us to really be a unit that's on the rise, and because that's really going to be the key for us on both sides of the ball, D-line, O-line. Continue to, as we got a lot of new faces on D-line this year, and O-line's now had a chance to be together for several games and have that continuity, and so I expect them to continue to play better and better. So obviously, who you play has a big say so on that, and bottom line is we got to do a continuously good job as a staff of just fundamentals and techniques, things we do well, keep building off of that, and to me that's going to be the focus this whole week and these last half of our season.
Pete and Mike.
Tom, Aaron Casey going into the season, there's a lot of expectations on his performance. He certainly has played well. Can you just talk about the way he has played and what you're getting from him?
Yeah, he continues to be one of our leaders that we need to continue to step up and play well, lead well. He continues to make plays, critical times for us, to get a key tackle for loss, hit a couple sacks, caused a fumble we didn't get. We had 2 fumbles, we didn't get either one of those. But has a great passion for what he does. Love his consistency, love how he practices, the way he handles himself. I can pull aside, talk to about when the guys come off the field or even during the week, and just a guy that knows who we are, believes in who we are, and has just been here as we've known. We talked about his growth and what he's become, and so I just want to once again challenge the guy. We want to continue to be a unit. So we want the linebackers to be a unit that's on the rise. We want our defense to be able to make some adjustments here, and when you play against an offense of that caliber with that elite of quarterback, you gotta be darn near perfect, and or else he'll make you pay. So those linebackers, they gotta own that to get everybody lined up right and checks, adjustments, and he's doing a lot of good things with that. We just gotta continue to get the whole group to play at his level of consistency, his level of execution each and every week. So you gotta have great linebackers, and I think he's a very, very special one for sure, and I want to see him have his best next 6 games as he finishes out his final phase of the regular season of his career.
Mike, back to Mason.
This might be a question more about Tatum and Brendan. Did you worry about kind of the last 7 games kind of impacting his confidence or development kind of going forward with having gone back and forth and maybe having him look over his shoulder? Do you worry about that lingering going forward? How has kind of the psyche of that been, kind of the last couple of weeks in particular?
Yeah, I think that, the goal obviously would be that you pick a guy and every game just continues to improve and grow. And so obviously at every position, if you have a guy that continue to do that, then, that progresses the way you like for it to be. And if that's not, then you may make a change, And so bottom line is that position, I could have a little more, to it. There's a lot of pressure on it, a lot of, expectations, and that person is different than every other spot, I understand. So, but everybody has to perform as well. So whoever that is, I want those guys to know that. Yeah, there's no doubt they feel that pressure, and you don't want any guy in a position to look over your shoulder, but you also have to look forward and make plays and be a guy that's doing the things that you need to do, whatever position it is, you know. And so, bottom line is that, you know, I want those guys to feel that, they have to embrace that and want that and be able to do everything they can to play the best on game day. And so at the end of the day, it's performance-based assessment, you know, and so trying to do a great job with that and allowing them to be able to grow and develop. And but we have to evaluate it and make decisions from there. So whoever the guy is and how that moves itself forward is the fact that we want to make sure those guys understand the game plan, execute the game plan, and you know, put the team, you know, as a coach does, as a player does in that position, that he has to be able to rise up and take on that responsibility. And so obviously it's a tough position to play, and you get a lot of scrutiny, good and bad, and you have to be able to handle all that and the ebbs and flows of that position and what it demands. And so I think that's something that they're both young, and so that's not easy to do without question. But at the same time, you know, we spend a lot of time with those guys, and I feel like that they're mentally in a good place, you know, but there's at the same time you want to make sure that they continue to play, you know, better each week, and that's the goal for that position and all the position.
Mason will wrap things.
Coach, I know you've said that you'll use the availability report in the past to kind of, you know, prevent disclosing too much about injuries, but Chris Turner's had some injury history this season already. Did you avoid anything serious with him for the remainder of the season on Saturday?
Yeah, so he is expected to practice this week, as well as Josh Anderson's expected to practice this week, you know. So it's a guy that, you know, I've commented a couple of times on guys that may be coming back from being out, you know, as far as with Josh. So he's expected to practice. We'll see, you know, how that goes as well, and Christian's expected to practice as well.
All right, Daniel, last one.
Last week with more ones in practice, you know, I recall last week there was a lot of talk about how you could start faster, obviously kind of achieve that mission. The more that you kind of look and watch that process play out, is there anything that maybe surprised you with how quick that worked? And I guess, is there anything more as far as elongating that same level of intensity that you feel like you can kind of improve on?
Yeah, man, I think that there's no question that it had a positive impact on our preparation. I think the balance is, you know, how much you do that, you know, and I think that that's, I've known some places where, you know, I've not been a part of them, but I've talked to coaches and they do that predominantly, you know, for their work. And I really think there's also a time for us to be against the scouts and for a variety of reasons, you know. So, but I think it has a place without question. I think it's proven to be something that our guys responded to well this week. We're going to continue to do that this week as well as we prepare to play our very best. And obviously now the next step is, okay, start strong and be able to consistently play well as a football team, both sides of the ball, at all positions, because every position is being evaluated and being able to be in a spot where, you know, you got to perform and do a great job of continuing to be on the rise, you know. And so, and if you're not, we got to figure out why. And so, and if it's something we're doing as coaches, we got to make adjustments. And if there's something that they're doing, then they got to make adjustments. So we do that together. But I think that's, even as a staff and talking to our players as well, I think that's something that we'll continue to do and to allow us to be able to keep getting better as a football team.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Appreciate you. Have a great day.